I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. Moving on now, in the Grade 2 Discovering Music Theory workbook, we move on to page 40. And we'll look at some more terms and signs. And this is where I really do recommend that you just take some time to revise these Italian terms, because do remember that these are in addition to what was learned in grade 1. So do go back to your grade 1 and add these to the list. And I do suggest that you really do give this some time and attention, because as you progress through the grades, it's only going to get more, because as these combine with grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, all the way up to grade 5, we still need to remember all of the terms from the previous grades. And my suggestion would be perhaps, because here, although they're kind of grouped sort of thematically, you can now group them with your grade 1 terms as well, and you can group them in any way that makes sense to you. So for example, here we have presto, which means fast, so you would definitely group presto and vivace together. And you may even want to add that to your grade 1 allegro, which also means quick. And so group them in ways that make sense to you. And I even suggest that perhaps you colour code them and group them in a way that you find helpful. And there are terms which are about speed, and then we have sort of general terms, and we have repeat signs. So for example here, dal segno, which is repeat from the sign, you may want to group that, if I can just find it, with the grade 1 da capo. So da capo, go back to the beginning, repeat from the beginning, whereas dal segno is repeat from the sign, this sign here. And a lot of these words, they do make sense if you look at the root word. For example, so ritenuto here is getting slower, held back. It's a bit more of a sort of a pulling on the reins, and that would make sense to group that with, for example, the grade 1 ritardando, which is retarding the speed, gradually getting slower, and it means exactly the same as gradually getting slower. And so rallentando, ritardando, and then the ritenuto all makes sense. And you could even add to that list meno mosso, less movement, you know, it's kind of slowing down. And here we can see that movement is the word that's represented by this Italian term mosso. Mosso is movement. So here we have less movement. Here, più mosso, we have more movement. So getting quicker. So this more movement you could perhaps put with accelerando from grade 1, which makes sense because we can see we're sort of accelerating here. So gradually getting quicker. However, it makes best sense to you. And then there will be some sort of in-between kind of words that you'll have to group in a separate section. Again, as best makes sense to you. You don't have to group it as shown here, but we've got quite a lot of linking words as well. So I do suggest that you take some time to revise these. And then if we turn the page, we get the chance to test ourselves. And so I suggest that you do a little bit of revision and then test yourself. Don't just kind of keep looking and keep checking the answers, because although that means, yes, of course you will get these correct, you will only have passively looked at it. Whereas if you get it wrong and then you try again and then you get it wrong and then you try again and then you get it right, you will learn them much more thoroughly that way. So do dare to just go for it once you've done a little bit of revision of grade 1 and 2. And then we can look at these together to check the answers. So I'm hoping you've had a go. Do test yourself. And now let's work through these together. So I'm hoping that you've had a go. And lento means slow. And then here the Italian word for graceful is grazioso, which makes perfect sense. You can see a nice kind of link between the root words there, so that's helpful. And then we have con moto, which is similar to the mosso word we were looking at earlier, and con is with, so it's with movement, so we can see a kind of a similarity in those words. And then we have the question, which is the faster, andante or vivo? So first of all, you need to know what andante means. And this is from your grade 1, which is at a sort of a medium walking speed. And vivo, we can easily see the link between the word vivo and vivace, which is fast and lively. So vivo is the faster of those terms. Now here, which is slower? Lento or grave? Well, lento is slow, but grave is even slower. And if you think about it, grave, you know, it's sort of deathly slow. That perhaps makes sense. Grave. So that will help you to remember that. And then we have meno mosso. So we know that mosso is movement. So is meno less or more? That's the thing we need to be careful of. And meno is less. Sort of, I think of that sort of minus, meno, just helps me to remember that. I don't think that's particularly accurate. It's just, it makes sense in my mind, that does. And then we have to push our knowledge a little bit further, because in exercise 2, we've now got to give the full definitions, and we've got to make sure that each word is properly addressed. So presto is fast, but then we've got these two linking words, which is but not, and then troppo is too much. Kind of fast, but you know, not crazy fast. And so again, now that we've had a little look at how to go about this, I do suggest that you do a little bit of revision and then try the rest of this exercise. From memory, it's okay to make mistakes. You know, do whatever you need to revise this, and then now we can check these through together. So I'm hoping you've had a go. So moderato, well, that's a tempo direction, and it's easy to see that it's at a moderate tempo. Moderato, it's not too far a stretch. Now, alla is sort of kind of in the style of. And then marcia here, that's not hard to guess. It's in the style of a march. So marcia, march. I might be pronouncing that wrong. I'm not great on Italian pronunciation, but there we go. Now here we're asked, what's the Italian for little by little? So we've got one word that we're going to get twice, and then we've got this linking word here. And the word for little is poco. I used to have a little dog and we used to call him Poco Pucissimo, little doggy. So poco, poco, little by little. So what's the Italian for without getting quicker? So we need to know what getting quicker is first, and then we need to say without that. So getting quicker, we know, is accelerando, because it's accelerating. And so the without word that we need to be sure of here is senza. So senza accelerando, without getting quicker. And then finally, molto vivace. Well, vivace is sort of, vivacious, fast, lively. And molto is much. So literally we've got much, lively, quick, but I think we can kind of give that a bit more general interpretation and just say very quick, lively, something along those. And it's good to put these terms into context. So when you see a piece of music or when you listen to a piece of music, just observe all of these performance directions and use that as a spot of revision as well to help you. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.